Before we start today's video, check out our affiliate links in the description down below. These can make some great gifts with the holiday season just around the corner, or even a gift for yourself. It supports the channel at no extra cost of you. Thanks so much. May the force be with you, and enjoy the video.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an exciting new confirmation and even a bit of canon lore now explained because of the recently Star Wars Outlaws video game and what that means for Ahsoka specifically. Star Wars has finally revealed what Ahsoka was exactly doing during at least part of the original trilogy and the events of the Galactic Civil War. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna hop right on into it, break it all down for you guys, everything that we know and everything that we're anticipating right now. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a quick read from ScreenRant.com as an overall garnering source. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. So as I had mentioned in our prologue there, Star Wars has finally revealed and confirmed of what exactly Ahsoka was doing for at least part of the original trilogy, which is like the Galactic Civil War. It's a huge understatement that she wasn't around, of course, during those events. At the same time, it makes sense why she might not want to have been around during those events, but it's something that a lot of fans need more of a filler. Like, they need more of an explanation for those events exactly, and we haven't really ever gotten a solidified answer. Anything as easy to, oh, she went into hiding on Tatooine, you know, similar to what Obi-Wan Kenobi did, or, you know, what Yoda did on Dagobah. I think that in itself is a very suitable answer, so it kind of poses a question in itself, why hasn't Star Wars, or really Dave Filoni, given us that kind of answer for Ahsoka and what she was doing during the events of the Galactic Civil War? So, as I had mentioned, Star Wars has finally given information on Ahsoka Tano's whereabouts during the Galactic Civil War and the original trilogy, as the article reads. Though Ahsoka was a major figure during the Clone Wars, she didn't appear in the original trilogy of the Star Wars movies for the obvious reasons of, well, of course, she hadn't been created until decades after the original trilogy. But Star Wars has mostly avoided giving an explicit answer to the question of where Ahsoka was throughout the Galactic Civil War, until now. Now, however, the franchise has given a more concrete and solidified clue that might help narrow down exactly what she was doing and where she could have actually been during those events. So as I had also mentioned in our prologue, the recently released video game Star Wars Outlaws provides us a bit more of a definition and an answer to that question. The recently released Star Wars video game Star Wars Outlaws subtly redefined Ahsoka's Star Wars timeline by changing the date of a massive moment within the saga. Outlaws had confirmed the date of the Purge of Mandalore to be 3 ABY, or 3 after Battle of Yavin, taking place a couple of years after the events of A New Hope, and probably right around when Empire Strikes Back is about to take place. This is very notable though, because that's a full year prior to the previous canon timeline provided by Hugh Yang in the Ahsoka Disney Plus show itself. With the new timeline of the Purge of Mandalore, Star Wars has indirectly confirmed what Ahsoka might have been doing during some of those events and why she didn't appear in many of the major battles of the Galactic Civil War. She was simply training Sabine as a Jedi. I hate it and I love it as an explanation. It's boom, there's our explanation, but it's also like, hold on, did Star Wars just mess up like their own canon? I know it's a lot to keep track of, but when it is a multi-billion-dollar business, you would hope, and also for the ones that have created it, you would hope that they would be able to, of course, reconfigure and know when their own things take place, of course. Maybe they are like recanonizing it, or maybe they purposely made Hugh Yang say it wrong in the Ahsoka show. Even then, I could also be wrong about this, but if I remember correctly, he said it was more of a guess even then. Or even then, we can look at it on the flip side of things. Maybe Star Wars Outlaws is giving us more of an estimate, or a guesstimate, if you will, for when those events are taking place. As I had mentioned, it's a hate-love kind of scenario for me. I know, it's so much of a build-up of an explanation for such a simple story. She was simply training Sabine Ren to be a Jedi during those events on the planet of Lothal. Even then, I think it also solidifies and more, concretes and confirms that this was kind of like what they were doing throughout most of the events of the Galactic Civil War. Kind of hiding away, as I had mentioned, as any other Jedi would want to do, like Obi-Wan Kenobi hiding away on Tatooine and Yoda being on Dagobah, staying out of the face of the Empire and Darth Vader. It just seems that maybe Ahsoka took a little bit more of a risk this time around when hiding away, quote-unquote, if you will, and that she was actually trying to train an apprentice under her during her time of hiding away. Ahsoka's story within the Star Wars franchise is of course a bit complicated. She's effectively disappeared for 2 years, from the years of 3 to 1 BBY, before the events of A New Hope, when Ezra Bridger had rescued her from her duel with Darth Vader in Star Wars Rebels by using the World Between Worlds. After that, Ahsoka began training Sabine Ren as a Jedi on the planet of Lothal. The Ahsoka show then confirms that Ahsoka was training Sabine until shortly after the Purge of Mandalore, which Outlaws recently established took place in 3 ABY. Therefore, Ahsoka was training Sabine for most of the events of the original trilogy, and while, as I had mentioned, hiding away and staying low. Maybe not the likes or definition necessarily of what Obi-Wan Kenobi or Yoda would say, hiding away and staying on the low, but still, hiding away from the Empire for the most part. And so, while Star Wars Outlaws did confirm that Ahsoka was preoccupied with training her Padawan apprentice, Sabine, for most of the original trilogy, it also introduces a bit of a problem within the timeline, as I had mentioned. As I had mentioned, it's a bit of a hate and love for me. Like, do they not know their own stuff? Are they recanonizing it? What is it? The Purge of Mandalore happens in the year 3 ABY, according to Outlaws, and Ahsoka and Sabine had parted ways shortly after. However, the Galactic Civil War, or the original trilogy, didn't end or conclude until 2 years later, in 5 ABY at the Battle of Jakku. Her training of Sabine explains where Ahsoka was during the original trilogy for the most part in Empire Strikes Back, but it fails to explain where Ahsoka was during the events of Return of the Jedi and the last year of the war. Honestly, I would hope and think that Ahsoka Season 2 would explain this. There's definitely still plenty of time for them to fill in those holes and give us more of an explanation of everything that had kind of went on and goes on within the Mandoverse, as they kind of fill in more of those gaps with the gaps that had happened between the events of the original trilogy movies. And though Star Wars has yet to give a definitive answer as to where Ahsoka was during the end of the war, her story might have some clues. It's possible that instead of fighting in the war, Ahsoka chose to contribute to the galaxy's defense by trying to eliminate Thrawn and find Ezra. It's also possible that she and Sabine simply parted ways a longer time after the events of the Purge of Mandalore than previously thought, as Ahsoka, the Disney Plus show, never gave a definitive date for their split exactly. Once again, I think and hope that Ahsoka Season 2 will do so. We'll only have to wait and find out. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.